Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Katie, I am the Introverted Reader, and today's video is going to be a little discussion. And you probably see from the title of this video, we're going to be talking about triggers, trigger warnings, stuff like that. And my main thing from this is I want to be able to discuss how important trigger warnings are and how they are needed when it comes to reading. Obviously, we love reading and we love to read because it's a form of escapism. I get that. I'm the queen of escapism, okay? But we're just going to have a discussion about them today, if you don't mind. But we're going to have a wee drink of water first. And really, the inspiration for this video is I was watching a video from Katie Coulson yesterday, was it? Day before? Yesterday? What is time? Anyway, it doesn't matter. I was watching her video and she was reading R.F. Kuang's latest book, which is Calabasas? Is that what it's called? Something like that. Anyway, and she was reading it, and as it the video was going on, there was stuff happening in the book that Katie mentioned that was really quite upsetting and that she didn't know was in there, because there was no trigger warning at the beginning of the book, which should have been there, R.F. Kuang. It should have been there. And that got me thinking, trigger warnings are so important. And I know a lot of people would be like, oh, but a trigger warning is a spoiler. No, it's not. No, it's not. A trigger warning is an author telling you certain things are going to be discussed in this book, or it might happen in this book, or there might be themes of this in this book. So while we are very happy that you picked up our book, we need to let you know that these things are going to be discussed. Some things might happen, and you need to be wary of these things. A spoiler is me giving away the ending of a book without you having read it yet, or me giving away the plot twist halfway through. Like, a trigger warning is not a spoiler, and that is a hill that I'm gonna die on, baby girl. That's a hill I'm gonna die on. And I do read a lot of fantasy books. Like, I've gotten some books here that do have author's notes at the beginning of them. Like this one that I'm currently reading. This is Carissa Broadbent. Now, I've read a couple of her books, and she has put trigger warnings at the beginning of nearly all the books I've read by her. But like, it's not like a full page essay. It's just a little note at the beginning. It's a little note. It's Carissa letting you know these things happen. They don't happen on page. They might happen off page. It's mentioned, but it's not like fully like in graphic detail. Like, certain things you do need to be aware of before going into books like this. Do you know what I mean? Because these can get dark. And especially with this one, To Gaze Upon Wicked Gods by Molly X. Chung. I love this book. I love this book so much. Now, this is a book that discusses a theme of colonialism, because our main character's nation gets taken over by another, and the colonizers that take over her land basically are trying to wipe out everything that's good about her place, her home, her heritage, her people's magic, everything. And there is an author's note at the beginning of this where Molly X. Chung goes into detail about all of those things and, the triggers and everything. So yeah, I think particularly for a book like this as well, that's very, very important. And, especially if we're going to talk about such a big, huge issue such as colonialism and, one place taking over another and trying to basically wipe the place that they've taken over completely off the map, that those things deserve to be discussed. And all the things that go along with that, there's a lot of dark stuff that goes on in here, like the violence and everything. Like, that needs to be... Like, you need to be told what you're going into. Do you know what I'm saying? And with Legend Born as well by Tracy Dion, this is not only a book that discusses racism and misogyny and, the systematic racism that happens within universities and schools. It also talks a lot about grief and trauma and what that can do to a person. And Tracy Dion has very, very lovingly put an author's note, I think it's at the back of the book. Let me see about the author. Let's just make sure. Yes, there's an author's note at the back of this where Tracy Dion goes into detail about all the things discussed in here. And if you wanted to read that before you read the actual novel, I think Tracy would appreciate that, because she highlights a lot of stuff that she went through after losing her own mother, because our main character in this has recently lost her mother, and the grief for that and the trauma for that is very prominent in this. And if something like that is triggering for you, you need to be aware of it. You can't just go in blind. And another example, Girl, Goddess, Queen, B. Fitzgerald, set within the world of Greek mythology. A lot of bad stuff happened. A lot of violence against women happened. And yes, again, an author's note. And again, the last one, A Dowry of Blood, S.T. Gibson. She has put in, there is a whole list as long as my arm of trigger warnings in here. There's all this, and then there's more at the back. Basically, my point in showing you all of these is, this is a note to authors, if anything else. Put an author's note at the beginning of your book and tell us what's going down. If you are writing a book that is going to be discussing some heavier topics, if you're going to be writing a book that's set within a fantasy world where there's going to be a war, where there is, violence and everything to do with that, like all terrible things that war brings with it, if you're going to be writing about that, let us know. Like, put a little author's note at the beginning of your book being like, we're going to be discussing this, 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 and this. And it's not a spoiler. To my fellow readers, that's not a spoiler. That is the author letting you know that these things are going to be happening within these pages, and that the author doesn't want you to be truly upset by them, because then you can decide for yourself whether or not you want to read it. You feel what I'm saying? Am I making any sense? Are you clocked in? Are we standing on business? I hope so. Because I'm so sick and tired of, people having to be all like, oh, trigger warning, oops, this might be a spoiler, or this might be blah, blah, blah. It's not. In my book, it's not. I would rather you told me. Like, you don't have to give me any context as to why that certain thing is in there. I can find out the context for myself. Like, giving me that would be a spoiler, but just letting you know, this thing happens in this happens in this, and it's like, it's simple. Like, be like these authors here. Write a wee small, like, you don't have to write a full essay. Be like Carissa Broadbent and just write a wee note at the beginning of your novel. Or if you wanted to go into more detail, like Tracy Dion or Molly X. Chang or B. Fitzgerald, and go into a little bit more detail and write yourself a wee author's note as to why these things are being discussed. Like, fine, do that. But it's so simple to do. And yeah, in my mind, in short, trigger warnings are important, and they're not spoilers. In my high, maybe not so professional opinion, I don't think that they're spoilers. I think it's really helpful, actually. And as well, I've also read a lot of authors, like Juno Dawson, for example. She's written a lot of books, but I remember reading some of her books like 2-3 years ago. Like, I did a video where I read some books by her that I hadn't read previous, like Meat Market and Wonderland, and what was the other one? Stay Another Day. Like, I remember in the back of one of those, especially like Meat Market and stuff, and I think even in the Her Majesty's Royal Coven series as well, like, you're balanced on it right now. I can't lift the book up, but even in Her Majesty's Royal Coven, like, Juno has left not only an author's note, but also like different resources that you can go to if you are triggered by anything that happens within the book. Like, I'm putting this resource here, here, and here, because we are discussing, like, within Meat Market, our main character is trans, and it's just like, if anything that happens with her in this book is affecting you in any sort of way, you can go to this resource and find help. At the end of the day, if the book is not for you, you can just put it down. Like, at the end of the day, trigger warnings help you protect yourself. And That's all there is to say, in my opinion. Frankly, trigger warnings help protect, and yeah, that's all I have to say on the matter. Anyway, I'm just talking out of my ass right now at this point, but you get what I'm saying. So that is all I have to say on the subject. I will thank you, Katie Colson, for the inspiration for this video. I'll leave her down below, so go follow her. Also, if you want to follow me on any of my socials, they'll be linked down below as well. My Blue Sky, Instagram and Threads, and my TikTok. If you want to follow me anywhere there, that would be lovely. If you haven't subscribed, feel free to subscribe. Leave a thumbs up so the algorithm knows that you like me. And I will see you in my next video next week. Bye-bye.